The countdown is on to the 96th Oscar Awards. In the lead-up to Monday's ceremony, there are questions if the awards have an age gap problem.
A land of airbrushed perfection. Hollywood has always had an issue with ageing, reflected in who wins what here. At the Oscars, typically it's been the young female ingenue rewarded, while the men alongside them get to mature like fine wines.
I can tell even if I can't see, and I heard the word fat, and ugly.
No one but me would dare, and I did not.
The invisibility of middle-aged women on screen, not lost on 2019's winner.
I don't stop watching telly once I'm 31. Or films or stories or theatre, I still want to watch.
Yeah.
And although you don't pay us as much, we still have some clout. So don't underestimate women.
But could the industry finally be turning a corner? Those still able to move an eyebrow might well want to raise one at Sky News' analysis of the Oscars acting categories this year. Take the average age of male winners over the decades and put them next to the women, and note that crossover. Because of wins for older women at recent ceremonies, cemented last year with Michelle Yeoh and Jamie Lee Curtis winning, who are both in their 60s, it's meant the average age gap has closed for the first time. Technically taken this year alone, and not the decade average, if winners go as predicted, there'll still be an acting age gap of 16.5 years. But that's still way better than what was repeatedly going on in the 90s and noughties. Take the year 2000, for instance, when between Hilary Swank and Angelina Jolie, Kevin Spacey and Michael Caine, the average age gap was 29 years. Jodie Foster has experienced it all. A nominee aged 14, winning twice before she was 30.
What you want to do has never been done.
And especially not for a woman.
Now, over 30 years later, she's up for an Oscar again for a film about endurance swimmer Diana Nyad.
The world of complexity hasn't always been reserved for women. You know, we were the mother of, the sister of, the prostitute of. You know, it has taken a lot of work by women to flesh out female characters in the industry over time.
While it's too early to say for certain whether Hollywood's ironed out the wrinkles in its age gap problem, taking the overall picture by decade, for the first time, progress.
Well, the focus is definitely there, isn't it? The entertainment world firmly on the Academy Awards in a few days' time. We will get to his fearless predictions in just a tick, but joining me live at the desk, movie analyst himself, Caine A. Basset. How are you, Shane?
Hello, mate. I'm doing very well, and I'm excited, very excited for the Oscars.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in just a tick, but The Great Escaper is supposedly Michael Caine's, the great Michael Caine's last movie.
Well, he's still with us. It's not because of that. He just announced his retirement, though, and this will be his last film. But I've heard actors do that before. I mean, we've had Anthony Hopkins recently say he's finished acting, but he's been in some great films lately and he hasn't given up. So I think Michael Caine's got another movie or two in him. And this one's a true story. And it's absolutely exhilarating how it spreads out to his story, because he was a senior citizen, this man, escapes from his retirement home, goes to France because he wants to attend the D-Day anniversary. And he was part of it, the original what happened. So it means a lot to him. So there's emotion, there's comedy, but it's got that British wit with a lot of heart. It's a movie with a big heart.
What do you give it?
I would give it 4 out of 5.
4 out of
It's
5.
a little movie that I don't think people are going to know, but it's a British film that needs to be seen.
All right, I'll make sure I get to look at that one. Now, Imaginary involves a fluffy teddy bear, but that's... Look, it's not the best-selling angle, but apparently this movie's pretty good.
Yeah, I'll sell it to you, okay?
Yeah.
People will be on the fence with this movie, though, definitely, but I enjoyed it myself. It is about an imaginary friend, a fluffy teddy bear called Chauncey. And the lady who had the teddy bear when she was little, comes back to her childhood home, finds it in the cupboard. Now, that bear used to talk to her as a child, but still does. But he's not happy because he was in the cupboard all this time. He couldn't
blowing
get
up.
out. He's blowing up, and he causes all sorts of trouble. Now, it's a bit different to Drop Dead Fred. I don't know if you remember Drop Dead Fred with that imaginary friend in the 90s. That was a classic film, and it was family friendly. This one is not family friendly. I jumped out of my seat at least 3 times during this film. It has got jump scares. It's sort of wry in its delivery, but it's a creepy bear. I'm trying to sell it to you.
Oh, no, don't worry, you're
It's
selling
actually
it. Don't
pretty
worry.
good, but I can see people won't like it, but I actually liked it.
Yeah, the coverage, the overlay that we're looking at, he looks fairly innocuous, but that makes you even more fascinated by it. Now, Desperation Road.
Oh, Mel Gibson. I mean, he's sort of had a resurgence lately, but these movies have been under the radar and streaming, and people don't really know about him. But he's had some good performances, including this one. He's back at the top of his game, Mel Gibson. He plays a dad whose son comes back from jail unannounced, but it's okay because they've got a good connection, and he takes him in, but he also meets another girl, but they've got a connection. She's homeless, takes her in, and then trouble follows. And Mel Gibson, he's just doesn't say much, but his performance is exhilarating in a sense where he stands up to be counted, and I like Mel Gibson. And we're talking about Oscars in a minute. He won for Braveheart, of course. Yep. He's had his troubles, but this is a movie I highly recommend, Desperation Road.
What do you give that?
3.
And what do you give Imaginary? Because I didn't ask you.
Imaginary, maybe a 3 as well.
3, okay. Well, they're both worth watching.
Yes.
All right, Oscars.
Yeah.
Is it going to be Oppenheimer all day again?
Yeah, it'll be Oppenheimer from start to finish, I think. There'll be a few surprises in a way that I think Poor Things and Zone of Interest are the only 2 movies that might actually win against Oppenheimer. But it's 13 nominations. It'll win at least 11, I predict. It'll be a fun ceremony because Barbie is involved. Even though Margot Robbie's not nominated, they'll have the music and a whole production of the sounds, and the production design from Barbie's also nominated. So they'll dress it up, I think. But Oppenheimer, if you haven't seen it, you probably won't understand the articulate nature of the film and how detailed it is. It deserves its 13 nominations and almost will get a clean sweep. Yeah, I really enjoyed Oppenheimer. I really did. Now, you'll have your popcorn ready on Monday, and we'll talk all about it next week. The champagne's on ice. And suit is ready. I can't wait. Yeah, popcorn, I might make that on the day. Okay, enjoy the Oscars. It gets too stale. It absolutely does.